Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mullen High School from De La Salle Stadium, our game of the week. Glad you're along with us. I'm Cory, Lopez, Marty, Cesario alongside the Mullen Mustangs hosting the Chargers from Chatfield, both coming in here at 1-2 in the Jeffco League. The time to go is now. You're probably not going to catch Pomona, probably not going to catch Ralston Valley, but you're going to catch a super phenomenal team if you stay where you're at in the middle of the pack. You've got to get to number 3 as best you can, because when week 10 rolls around, you get into the first round of the playoffs, you've got to find a way to play a team that's a little more even caliber to kind of get you going, because if you're playing a top seed, it could certainly be 1-1. During today's game, we'll recognize one player as the next level student athlete player of the game, and each week one player will receive a 1-year scholarship to the next level student athletes game plan high school program. You can get more information by visiting nextlevelsa.com. That's nextlevelsa.com. Marty, let's talk about this. Coming in, Chatfield beat a team in Florida on a strange thunderstorm type of day, but they end up getting the win out of it. They come back home. They lose a heartbreaker to Horizon, up 19 points at one point at that time. They have one lost, and now lost back-to-back at a tough one last week as they come in here. They're still trying to find their mojo for the season and get on some kind of roll. And
it's fair to qualify the story with Chatfield that injuries have decimated them. Offensively, still scoring points, up at about 35 a game. The defense, at one point, 2 weeks ago against Ralston Valley, they lost 9 starters out, including 4 backups. So that's a big part of the story. They just can't stop anybody, and that's going to be a key for what happens this evening is can they make stops? And, this is a pretty potent Mullen offense, young but potent. And since I mentioned that, a key for Mullen, they only have 9 seniors on the roster. They have to play beyond their age. If they don't make mistakes, play efficiently, they're going to do all right this evening.
Mullen, as we said, 1-2 coming up. Both teams are 2-3 coming in here. Mullen coming off that big loss to Columbine, 56-35 last week. During today's, or as we mentioned, as we get rolling, a few of our sponsors: Colorado Football Magazine, the only high school football magazine in Colorado, 6-0 strength, training athletes for the highest level of competition, and of course, the next level student athlete of the game. These businesses making a difference here in Colorado high school sports. Away uniforms, white on almost white. Kyle Winkler, your quarterback, and off to Connor Aycock from the I-back position, and Sean Odell. That's Odell that time with the carry going off the left side. We're going to see those two guys a lot. When they move Odell out, they put him in the slot and move him around. But again, a quick run to the left side that didn't gain much. Winkler, quick smoke route this time, little slant route, caught just across the 42-yard line. That's what they do. They get to the line, and they get after it quickly. And one of the guys in on the tackle that time is Christian Cumber, one of those young guys. We're going to be calling his name out a lot defensively.
Chris Cumber, a potential D1. Just a young guy for right now, but that's secondary for Coach Tom Thinnell and Mullen. He's really proud of those guys, really leaning on them defensively, and Cumber just made that tackle. As we hurry, quick, there's a jump. The defense goes offsides, which Cory is leading you into.
Yeah, welcome to it.
Yeah, if this is your first time seeing the Chargers, the pace, the tempo will be up.
That's an understatement. I mean, it is a frenetic pace, but at the same time, when they get that lead, it's hard for them to really milk the clock at any furious pace here. They're going to go, as the ball gets moved up to about the 48-yard line. Winkler, hands off. That's the first man through. And again, we're going to see an awful lot of Sean Odell. Over the last 2 weeks, they put Odell in that slot position, or they'd slide him out wide. They like to put him in a receiver position, but as it sets up, Odell's getting the bulk of the carries to start things off.
By design, back in the start of fall, around August, a lot more slot from Odell, but the way things have happened with injuries, him at the running back position has been often the case.
Winkler, there's Odell with the catch near the first down.
Well, there's something where you get a showcase spot, surely call out the catch by Lucas Gunkel, but their quarterback, Kyle Winkler, he can throw that ball. That out route, that kid's got it. He's about 6'1", so he might be D2 size, but in terms of technique and skill, throwing the football, he can do that all night.
Quick run up the left side. We'll also see the sophomore in Dalton Keene that will carry from time to time as well. And that is Keene. He gets a handful of carries up there. And Espinoza with the tackle. Stefan Espinoza, a sophomore up there at the linebacker spot. Rolling, that's Winkler now, and the catch made, yes indeed, and look at that. Odell, it's like he's got Stickum, catches it on Cumber.
That's a tough kid, Odell. I hear he is getting looks from the Armac, which I think is outstanding. That kid just gives everything, gives all, and you can see he's got some skill too. Pulling that ball down in front of a defender who's in place.
Winkler, hands off this time, look out, there's Gunkel. Off to the left side, shakes the tackler, still on his feet now as he runs right up the middle of the field. He has slipped 5 tackles, finally making the tackle. James Jones, the 4th, will bring him down.
How about Gunkel? Primarily see him as a defender. He's one of the starters on that defense for Coach McGatlin. That's twice now he's had impact offensively on a nice drive to start things off.
22-yard run. They give it off to the I-back again as he tumbles forward to about the 7-yard line.
Number 10, Cameron Lucero on the carry.
And Cameron Lucero is not somebody that we have seen carry the ball hardly at all. So Lucero gets the carry this time. And quickly off to the left side, and again they go very quickly. Quick snaps in there. Keene will get the carry this time.
Mike Gish did a good job knifing through a gap to be able to make that tackle. As you see the pace continue, Winkler getting his guys in white up there at the line of scrimmage as they're threatening.
Here we go, 3rd down and a couple here. Hand off, ducking, leaning, touchdown, Chatfield. And that is Keene with the carry. Dalton Keene, the sophomore, just off the right side. He had one guy he had to end up running over.
Dalton King also another one of those defenders being flipped around. And that's kind of, again, the narrative with Chatfield this season. We're going to mix and match because everything we had planned in August, we had to call fire, make adjustments. And so you see 16 carrying the football, and what a nice drive to get things started off for the Chatfield Chargers.
10 plays, 65 yards. And the extra points, that is Becca Maris. She's got a strong leg. We've seen her kick 30-plus yard field goals. In fact, she did it last week. They were threatening to be shut out. Was able to put through a pretty good field goal last week, and it is 7-0. And this is typical. This is what we see. Last week, Ralston Valley absolutely shut them down. Before that, though, first possession, Chargers typically will take it down and score with it immediately with that very fast-paced offense.
The Chargers did have, I think, 3 different times against Ralston Valley. And keep in mind, that's a top 5 squad in the state. 3 different times they were in the Mustangs' red zone, but got stopped each and every time. They were able to pull off a field goal later on in the third or fourth quarter. They had some success offensively. I think attrition set in as the RV offense was just blasting through everything that the guys in white could pull out there. And speaking of the Chargers, this is a little different ball game, more evenly matched, which is why we were excited about it.
Yeah.
Should be an entertaining matchup. Right now, Mullen defensively had no answer to what Chatfield was doing. And let me make sure I bark out those O-linemen, because not only do they have to create gaps, but they got to hustle. Haynes, Fournette, Cordova, Sanchez, Sartini, nice job.
Absolutely. Cumber has got the football, tripped up a little bit, he'll fall across the 30-yard line. Boy, he might have had a little bit more real estate there to take off, but he ended up getting tripped up trying to get around his own man. Special teams-wise, that's Conrad Bristol on the tackle.
Now, a little different look from the Mullen Mustangs. They do have a feature back as opposed to a whole lot of parts you just saw on that Chargers opening drive. And they have a very talented quarterback in Javon Tafoya, who, unlike Winkler, can go to the run a little bit more often. He's gained about 400 or 500 yards so far this season.
Yeah, tends to run it himself for when he does. Was going to hand off to McElroy Jr., but...
Correct myself, by the way, according to Max Prep stats, 368 running for Tafoya. Efficient passing, just 1 interception, 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, 3 of them last week, trying to keep up with
that high octane passing game from Columbine.
Well, we know what the Rebels bring, and that is just they pound it on the ground. Although They have passed a little bit this year, but
Yeah, well, I think someone told me on the sidelines last week Columbine threw 4 touchdown passes against Mullen.
1st and 5, and a nice slip there on the right side. McElroy, they're going to find a way to get him into the mix. Of course, McElroy's going to be around the football most of the time, and we'll call out an awful lot. Dylan Ellis, Karstensen, Keene, Eisenbast. Those guys make a lot of the tackles from their secondary position, cornerback position or safety positions, and you really want your linemen and your linebackers doing a little bit more of it. Now, Gator will be in the mix as well, but
you'll call Karstensen a lot. He's their lead tackler, having to move to the middle linebacker position again because of that medical flux I was tweeting out that Chatfield has had to endure so far this season. He's coming off a high ankle sprain himself.
Yeah. 2nd and 7 here. A little read and off to the races. McElroy, Jr. down the right side. Got a good block out front from his receiver, and he is gone. Touchdown, Mullen. How about that? Ryan Manning with a nice block all the way down the field, and that helped to assure that Marcus McElroy Jr. was going to take off and score.
If that's your first time seeing 28 run the football, how you like it?
Wow.
Nice showcase.
66 yards on the touchdown.
There are people looking, some who may be up in Boulder, at this kid, just a sophomore. We wait the PAT, that's good, so we'll go 7-7. But, you know, there aren't that many kids at this level, even on the run like that. And I don't know what his, in terms of measurables, his 40 time is, but he's running that fast to be able to clear past, you know, second and third level defenders. And you saw those little jukes. He'd make one little lean to the inside and then move to the outside. And he did that 3 different times on that run. Very impressive for McElroy. And then 2 opening drives. Nice work by both offenses.
50 seconds on 2 plays there from, well, they started at their own 32, so 68 yards, but 66 of those yards were from McElroy. Get your school's games live stream, whether it's basketball, hockey, rugby, or any other sport. You can email Phil at streamitsports.com for details.
I was watching the nonverbal of the Mullen defense after giving up a touchdown. How are they going to handle it? Answered in 50 seconds.
Yeah, it was. Take it from the 3, and Odell pulled forward to about the 19-yard line by the back of the helmet, and Chargers will get their second possession right there.
Lavios Brown, pretty pumped about his special teams effort. Put him on the watch list for the lunch pail.
Yes.
Do the extras, kid. I'll bark it out.
Love the lunch pail. It's been going for a while now. Looking for some room. There's nowhere to go. A yard maybe. Cumber is there along with Jones, and that is Lucas Gunkel getting the carry.
Get a good look at the Mullen defense when we get the wide shot. Basically, the Mustangs are daring Winkler to go long and over the middle. They respect that outside toss just right there.
Looking to try to get that one. Again, off to Lucero. Is that Gator in his face that time?
Jack Hain, 5'6", right side defensive end. Yeah, getting in the grill of Winkler to disallow even a clean pass attempt to get off.
So 3rd down, we'll call it 8. Rolling here to the near side, still looking, trouble. He's going to have to step out. Wisely holding on to it. You just don't see that happen all the time, but again, he had no one to throw it to. Good coverage by the Mullen secondary.
Still remains the same with Chris Cumber staying out there alone as a lone free safety. This will be punt coverage right here. But it seems like Mullen defensively, they're going to dare Chatfield to go between the hashes and deep, respecting Winkler and what he does so precisely, working to the edges. And then I think that's Mullen also trusting their own speed. They can get out there, as you saw.
Rugby style punt, and a good one over the head of Jones. He'll let it roll down, and it will die at about the 30-yard line. So a very good punt from the 17-yard line. again, over the return man's head, and that was a mistake. He had lined up a little bit short of where the ball was going to come down.
Now that would be a glimpse of one of the knocks and the dangers of Chatfield's style of offense. If the defense makes stops, that's 3 quickly and out, and you're gone, and your opponent immediately has the ball back.
Yeah.
With Ralston Valley, that didn't work out too well because RV was able to put points on the board immediately.
Hand off underneath, nowhere to go. Whoa, ball's on the ground. They're going to say that it was down. Ellis is there. Wow, as they went on a little counter that time, that's Sharon Hamilton, the sophomore. He had no hole to get to.
Nice job, 47, Mitchell Johnson, also helping flush that running back to the side.
Loss all the way back to the 26-yard line here. Reed, McElroy again looking for some room around the outside. He'll get caught from behind as he tries to kind of pick his way through there. You can see Dalton Keene is there along with Karstensen.
Well, they've seen that play before, about a minute ago.
Yeah.
McElroy went 66 yards. This time someone was standing in the way, able to shed the defender to where McElroy had to bounce off tackle real wide, and then a bunch of guys in white jerseys able to bring him down.
Yeah, catch you from the backside. So here they go. This is from the 28-yard line. And it's 3rd and 12 here. Tafoya going up top and over the top of everybody. Looking for Patrick Stevens there. But again, he was really trying to put a little extra juice on it and really sailed on him.
Worked out well. One adjustment defensively. As I talked to Coach McGatlin during the week, in a production call, Matt Gator moved to the inside from the nose position in that goal line attack position on all fours, able to knife through a gap and get in the face of the quarterback and kind of force a hurried throw. So nice work for 44.
Buck Thinnell back to punt it away. Ran into Zach Thinnell down on the Mullen sideline. Of course, quarterback for Bear Creek back in the day, playing for his dad and now coaching for his dad.
Buck Thinnell, the nephew, is punter, tight end. Last time I was on this field, Buck suffered a lower body injury, whether it was a hammy or a knee. But Zach, a real good guy. That is not even close to the first time he has chased me down. And, you know, it's been a few years we've been doing this thing.
Yeah.
They get older.
Yes.
And his look gets different. It's like, it's me, Marty, Zach. I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the scruffy face.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
He's got the beard going. Shout to Zach. Thank you.
Well, I was asking, said, of course, our good friend down there, and Gunkel trying to find some room. There is none to be had. I got blown up by Jack Hain. Hain was right there at his face. And I'll credit Ortiz with the tackle, but Hain's a guy who penetrated and blew that up right away. Gain of a yard.
Booster's real happy. Hain's dad runs the quarterback club for Mullen.
Quick throw to the outside. Whoop, ball's loose. Mullen's got it. The catch there on that right side, I would have said it looked like a 9. And that surprises me. That is the youngster, the sophomore, hadn't made a catch in a couple of days. Dannenhauer. That's Logan Dannenhauer, who was big a couple of games ago for Chatfield. Got hit by the sideline but lost the ball.
2 consecutive stops for the Mullen defense. This time Mikey Pryor falls on the football, so he's credited with the recovery. Excellent field position for the Mustangs now at, call it the 42-yard line of Chatfield.
Big game. Oh, by the way, I mentioned our friend said that's Sid Bonner, AFL Hall of Fame, and this one going deep to point. Got a man down there. Did he? Oh, my goodness. He had it for a minute. That was Stevens. The defender, though, got between him and the ball, essentially.
Well, you saw wide open Patrick Stevens, a very gifted wide receiving core for Coach Thinnell and Mullen. But you know who gets credit for that, and it's not going to show up statistically. Again, Matt Gator forcing Tafoya to just hoist before he could step into it. And that kind of is the reason why you saw on the left side of your monitor just a ball flailing and trying to get to Stevens, and it did not happen.
So here we go, 2nd down and 10. Look out. Tafoya's on the loose. We told you he can run, and he can indeed. Finally pulled down at about the 20-yard line. How about that? Good read that time by Tafoya. Found a little bit of room. Conrad Bristol is there.
I always love that. That's perfect because I'm not a coach. I'm calling out Gator, getting in. Gator's right there. You see it's a 3-man front for Chatfield. Gator's penetrating right or left side of the center. Coaches for Mullen realize that, so they sent Tafoya on a delayed draw. I would have never picked that out. I'm just talking about it.
36 yards on the run there. Mullen's going to take a timeout. Give us a chance to tell you the only magazine in Colorado featuring every school in the state's football program, featuring some of the top players, including the All-Colorado team. Colorado Football Magazine. You can order yours today. That's coloradofootballmagazine.com, where you can find it and order it.
These programs have put out some pretty good players. I think at Chatfield, Ben Clark started since a freshman for University of Oahe. Kyle Slavin up at Colorado. Sam Stratton, Wyoming. That's coming out of Chatfield. For Mullen, Patrick Healy is starting linebacker for Air Force. J.K. Scott, how about his start for Alabama?
Oh, yeah.
His first punt went, I think it was 63, 64. I checked Twitter for J.K. Scott. The world was blowing up because this freshman kid had just sent one for that far for Alabama.
Yeah. So here we go. Mullen, 1st down and 10. McElroy's, nobody's touched him yet. Nobody's going to. The receivers ran all the secondary off, and McElroy with a 22-yard touchdown run. Another big run for him as he approaches 100 yards on just 4 carries.
I want to give credit to 5'4" because before he comes off the bottom of your screen right there, Tyler Campbell with the seal block, just pushing the defensive end to the outside, and McElroy just so gifted on reading that and then making the cut, and he's gone.
On for the extra point, Tanner Clem, the sophomore, and he may end up having to do this one from 5 yards further back. Whew, we are getting after it here, aren't we? This one could be another one of those Jeffco high-scoring affairs.
Last year was 40-34, and if I recall correctly, you called that game, didn't you?
I did. I did.
And,
You're right.
And Coach McGatlin and I talked about it. It was a turning point. Chatfield was on a roll. They could have gone 8-1 at the time. Instead, Mullen pulls out the victory, 40-34, ties into what you're commenting on. So that's 74 points. Tonight, I put the over-under at about 78, all things considered.
I'm with you. Clem will make the extra point from 25 yards, and it is 14-7 here. Mullen has their first lead of the game.
All started by the Mikey Pryor fumble recovery in excellent field position.
That was huge. And the lights go out. Maybe we could turn the lights back on.
That's a very diplomatic, polite way for you to ask.
Well, otherwise, not going to be a lot of help calling out anything.
Right. Well, I want to hear your stats.
By the light of the TV screen that we have in
right.
here.
Which Alex Wines, one of our technical directors, immediately pulls out his flashlight app.
We just need to find the switch here. The kickoff, and we're back on. Take it at the 5-yard line now, and got a little bit of a seam. Makes a cut back. Tackled at about the 49-yard line. Sean Odell, so dangerous.
Love watching that kid play football. Odell.
Isaiah Banks ended up making the right run to him that time, but whew.
Odell runs immediately to his tailback position, but you can see why by design earlier this year it was to put Odell in a variety of positions.
Back to the run game they go. Mano y mano. Well, you could see the linemen just pushing and pushing that time.
That was a nice hog war.
Boy. That's Acock with the carry.
99, Terrell Johnson. one of the rare seniors on the Mullen roster involved in that mess of humanity.
Yeah, that was grass clippings and mud and dirt flying for 2 yards that time. Winkler, 5-step drop, comes into the near side. And Gilbert is wrapped up. Nice play that time. You see Jones kind of over there, but give credit, Ortiz running around over there as well.
Nice close by James Jones, offered a little bit of cushion, let that short pass allowed to complete, and then Jones closed it down for a short gain.
3rd and 7. Winkler, delayed handoff now, and they get it off to Keene, and he's upended inside the 44-yard line. Jones got to him around the ankles that time, and wow, are you kidding me? Another new running back.
Nice showcase. Jones is at the bottom of your screen, just going off the right-hand side of your monitor. But that time, nice react. It's man coverage for him as a cornerback. He's all alone out there. Made a nice tackle that time to force this 4th down attempt for the Chatfield offense as Winkler gets the call in.
Yeah, Fournette with the carry now. They'll flip it back here, and that's Odell as he is hit right near the sideline. That's Cumber with the big hit, but again, Odell so quick to get to the outside and turn it up.
Well, he read a great block by Cameron Lucero from the receiver position, doubling back to pick up a defender, pushing to the sideline. Odell made the cut to the inside. 1st down, they continue.
Winkler now looking to pass, throw to the left side, got his man out there, caught right near the 31-yard line.
Fancy feet. Juke you. Ooh, juke myself.
Yeah. And that's Dannenhauer again. Right back to Dannenhauer, who again fumbled the last time he made the catch as he was near the sideline over there. Little spin move. Aycock still on his feet now, bouncing to the outside, or is that Odell? That is Aycock there, the senior. Nope, it is Odell. They're about the same size.
Well, and you can probably see, too, on your monitor, it's tough. That screen here on Stream It Sports is absolutely gorgeous in terms of visuals. But for us up here, we've got a glare coming back at us. White numerals on white jerseys. Not a good recipe for broadcast
I say it every
people.
time I'm doing the Chatfield broadcast, and so I'm trying not to hammer on it too much here, but it is hard to see. Ooh, big 74, Nathan Dietrich right there on top of Fournette.
Nice balanced play calling for offensive coordinator Craig Auckland, who, by the way, is matching play calls blow for blow with his old high school head coach. Auckland played for Thinnell at Bear Creek back in the day.
There you go.
About a decade ago.
2nd down and 9 coming up here. Referees needed to get the ball set. Yeah, it's tough to see where I'm actually looking out of the backfield that time, and they get it to Gunkel. Gunkel smoked. Got it done about the 13-yard line. Hit him low. That was Ortiz, and it was Scumber that hit him high.
The athletes for Chatfield doing a good job evading tackles.
Yeah, that's as solid a tackle as we've seen there, but that's because he got someone caught up around his feet. There is a flag down, and that'll go for naught.
10 yards from the quarter foul. Down 2.
So the play goes for 9. It was a gain of only about 4 that time. The Mullen defense closed it down pretty quickly.
2nd and 19.
Ball back to the 28-yard line. Winkler rolling here. They're setting up the screen to the left side. Out of that backfield, making one miss. Back toward the middle he comes. That's Gunkel. Jones wraps him up. Lucas Gunkel gets it down to about the 18-yard line and got about 10 out of it there. Good 2nd down and long play.
Well-designed play. 4 offensive linemen flowed over there to set up the screen. Jack Hain did a great job. Got through there somehow, blasted right through those linemen. Unable to make the tackle, though, to where Chatfield gets to continue.
Winkler got Keene in the backfield. That's not who he's going to. Rolls left, fires toward the end zone. Caught, touchdown, Chatfield. They've evened it up if they can get the PAT to go through, and it's his leading receiver in Braden Gilbert.
See those gorgeous throws from Winkler. He is a legit, skilled technician from the quarterback position.
And he's better on the run, I think, just
Yeah.
as the season's gone along. He feels more comfortable when he's moving a little bit. Doesn't have to be at a sprint. Boy. Maris in to tie things up. And will do so.
It's right to script based on expectations. A lot of points on the board, 28 in the first quarter. Long way to go.
9 plays, 51 yards on a little shorter field there. And 3 minutes, 28 seconds off the clock. We're still in the first quarter here. Can you survive the dungeon? Join elite personnel trainers in Famey and Megan in the new Dungeon X competition classes. You can email Matt at 60strength.com with the subject, I can handle the dungeon, for more information.
I made a fatal flaw. You should smack me next time. I drew a line on my personal scoring summary.
Uh-oh.
There's still a minute left in this quarter.
Yeah, we could still possibly.
Can't separate the quarters yet.
No.
There's still a lot of time the way this thing's going.
Yeah.
Number 14, Chase Johnson kicking off, back to receive. Number 17, Christian Cover.
Bounding ball. Jones going to take this one, the up man from the 19-yard line, and up. Whoop! Ball pops out as he hit the ground that time. That's where that will be called back. Diarmid actually got him down low, but boy, he was up in the air and he landed flat on his back, and that ball popped out. But again, they said he was down.
Also nice work, Conrad Bristol, special teams. He's going to stay out there as one of those linebackers for a defense that, once again, big part of the story, they have suffered so many injuries. There's only 2 guys on the defense who have played their position by design in August all year long.
And that's something. McElroy picking his way through, heads to the right side. Got about 3, maybe 4 yards. Eisenbast in there. Karstensen is in there as well.
By the way, those dependable guys, Lucas Gunkel and Karat Hochevar, only 2 guys to start in their positions as it was planned in August. We're only through 5 games.
Yeah. Hochevar is a lot of tackles through the first 4 games of the season as well. Haven't called his number as much here tonight. 2nd down and 7 now. McElroy will get it again, makes 1 miss in the backfield, and then spins. They only got a couple of yards out of it that time. And Keene getting up off the bottom of the pile there with McElroy. And again, both teams helping each other up.
Keene and Dylan Ellis also knifing through there. I like the impact of Matt Gator at the nose guard position. He drew a couple of different Mullen offensive linemen, allowed the other guys to come in and use those gaps to get through.
Interesting change there. We've got a 3rd and 6 when we come back here to break the quarter up. But again, as it sits, 3rd and 6, and they'll switch sides of the field. By the way, Colorado businesses, be part of the broadcast. The sponsorship opportunities are limited, so you need to contact us to secure a spot in next week's broadcast. And our games of the week right here on Stream It Sports. Put a new 12 up on the field as we get set to go. Have some special guests that will be coming in here in just a little bit as well. We'll talk a little volleyball coming up here in the second quarter. We'll have more on that coming up. In the meantime, within the game, I told you I was going to try to stat things up, but Chatfield moving along so quickly. I can tell you McElroy is right up around the century mark. 2 touchdowns for Marcus McElroy Jr., though. He has been moving just fine here in this first half. You can imagine number 28 is going to get the ball an awful lot, and he's not going to get it here. That's Tafoya trying to get to the outside, and he'll get caught from behind, take it to about the 38-yard line. Tracking him down is Keene. Well, also Ben Rumsey is in there as well, but Keene was the guy who actually tracked him down.
Rumsey getting the start. along with Blake Coleman, as the Dogs. I love that. I get into the nomenclature. They're usually the Monsters, the Rovers. On Chatfield's defense in-house, they call them the Dogs. I'm like, I want to be a dog.
That's good stuff. 4th down. Mullen going to go for it here. Is it no man's land? They will indeed. McElroy up forward. Oh, he was stopped initially, but that second push, the leg drive, was able to get his way forward for that first down. Jake Karstensen got him around the legs, but just enough leg drive. They're going to move the chains.
I thought McElroy was going to go for another big one. That's, again, that same play. They've run it 4 times. That's reminiscent of McElroy's first quarter 66-yard touchdown run. This time, Karstensen sniffing it out. A little late react, but boy, had the wheels to get there and make the tackle.
Needed 3, just got 4. Tafoya pulls it back. The catch made. That's Manning there as he falls up to near the 44-yard line. And again, Karstensen on the tackle.
Hey, it's all the Jake show. 1-7, that's Jake.
Gain of a yard at that time as they tried to set it up with the little hook route.
We at that time of the game where the first quarter scripts have expired. Now we'll see
right.
how
We turn the page.
Turn the page, and now we'll see how everybody's reactions are going to be. Chatfield defense playing very, very well, all things considered.
Shotgun time again. This time underneath they go. They'll give it off to Hamilton, and Hamilton across the midfield stripe down to near the 46-yard line. Big lineman had to jump in there. Connor Haynes, the senior.
That's a nice compliment to McElroy. Speaking of another sophomore, Saeman Hamilton.
It's only his 3rd carry, and all of a sudden you get McElroy is no slouch, but Hamilton hit the hole quickly. 10 yards there, first down and 10 now, under 10 to go here in the second quarter. Receivers either side, both backs are on the hip of Tafoya, and he will hand it off. Hamilton still on the run now and will be pulled down at the 23-yard line. He hit the second level very quickly. Odell on the tackle for Chatfield along with Coleman. Blake Coleman got there, but wow. All the way down to the 21-yard line. 25 yards for Hamilton. 2 carries, 35 yards on this drive alone. Mullen set here from the shotgun. Tafoya steps up, and Hamilton again. They'll run him 3 straight times. Nowhere to go that time. Right into the, essentially into the arms that time of one of the, oh boy, who's that coming up? Is that Gator?
Big 44.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to run it off. He says, no, I'm not coming out.
Well, he knows his defense can't afford and suffer any more injuries. He's got to go ahead and battle it through. Nice work for the nose guard there.
Essentially as a nose guard, they just make sure nobody moves you, and that's a play in itself. Tafoya, Hamilton, this time off left tackle. Pushes down inside the 17-yard line that time.
We'll see how Mullen does on this drive here, looking to go up ahead. We may make a couple of ladies real happy.
Absolutely.
By scoring another touchdown. We've got the volleyball squad represented in here. A couple moments we'll bring on Brooklyn Saeman, who's the senior setter for a very talented Mullen V squad.
3rd and 6 here for the Mullen football team. Trying to get that lead back here as they get set. Looking to pass. Tafoya going here to the right side, too high and over the top of everybody. Ryan Manning had actually turned the route in toward the post that time. I think Tafoya thought he was going to go the other way. Brings up a 4th and 6.
Big fan of Manning. You see his size, 6'5". He's got that length. Just works so well with what everybody's looking for these days at the next level. Talented wide receiver core with Manning along with Stevens. And then I'm a big fan of Mike Sienkiewicz. You get about 2-3 catches a game, but he does so many other things, including downfield blocking, that I just love.
All right, here we go. Second time they'll go for it on 4th. McElroy bounces his way through, still on his feet, sniffing the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs.
There you go. Brooklyn's got her hands together. She's real pumped. Third touchdown for Marcus.
Runs of 66-22. This time, this one a little shorter, 17 yards for the touchdown.
Good time to bring in Brooklyn, your reaction. So your guys are up.
Oh, they're walking
Oh,
it
that's
backwards.
going to come back.
They'll pull it off the scoreboard.
Based on what you're seeing so far and over the season, I mean, how you feeling about your football team? I mean, you're all decked out. You're a big fan, so
Yeah.
I get the sense that you're aware of what's been going on. How are they doing tonight?
You know, I think they're playing pretty well together. We have some good senior leadership this year and some good new players coming in. And so I think they're doing well. Our school spirit's been getting better, so it's been helping out a lot. And I think it's showing.
How about 4th and 16 now? Japoy's got to think about passing this one. Got a man wide open. Caught. Touchdown, Patrick Stevens. All right, you can't run it in from 17. You can throw it from 27. Now Mullen has the lead. I was very impressed, and I also heard folks standing up along the camera area as well. It's a tradition here at Mullen, the drum line leading the students in. Very impressive, I've got to say.
It is. It is.
What's the history behind that? Are you aware of that?
I am not fully
Okay.
aware of it. This is the first year in a while that we've had a drum line, and they've been doing great this season. It's been really cool.
And you can't see Brooklyn, and we're unable to flip the camera around, but she talks about school spirit immediately. She's fully decked out in her overalls that, you know, her splash and blue. Looks like her girlfriend spray painted her and everything. She's got the face paint going.
Yep.
Big M on her left cheek. So she's bringing the pride to cheer on this squad that just took a 7-point lead. Patrick Stevens, you know him. Your kind of perspective to where, like, Stevens is a senior, so are you.
Mm-hmm.
All those guys on the football team, most of them are underclassmen.
Yeah.
Do you have any awareness of them? You know, who these guys are and you know, what they're doing on your football team?
You know, I have some friends on the football team that point them out and tell us who they are, and when they wear their jerseys on Fridays, you recognize them and then watch for their number in the game. And it's really cool to see all the talent that is coming into our school.
Are the kids aware, like when Marcus McElroy shows up as a sophomore, are you guys aware? Like,
Oh, yeah.
That's a running back? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I have a class with him, so
Okay.
I know him.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, how's the volleyball team this year? It's getting close here to playoff time.
Yeah. We've been doing pretty good. We had a great start. We beat Creek, which is one of our tough rivals.
That's huge.
We got a new middle transfer. She's going to Montana. And we have Maddie Frywald, who's the other setter. She's committed. And we've had a solid team. And we have 7 leaders as seniors. So it's been going good.
Fair to say, don't be fooled by your record because, again, you play all those Centennial League foes. I know
Yeah.
you got wins over Valor, which matters because
Yes.
you're 4A, right?
Yes.
And then Creek and Chatfield, you were able to beat them.
Yeah.
Winkler looking there to the right side and looking for Lucero as they go back to that quick-paced offense. But now, 3rd and 10 coming up.
Brooklyn, I'm going to be calling the 4A state championships at the Coliseum. Tell me why. You're a senior leader. Why are you and your squad going to be there?
Because we're working hard, and we're going to prove that we can be there.
Nicely done.
That's a great answer, I've got to say. How about this? End around. We can see it. Well done by our camera folks upstairs. Cumber actually was able to read it himself and catches up with Sean Odell, but not before it's a first down and a gain of about 14.
Well, perfect. Well, Brooklyn, I want to thank you so much. Senior setter Brooklyn Saeman, part of, a very talented Mullen squad. Don't be fooled by that record. Top shelf schedule that they play. And then we move on to regionals. And you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And hope to see you over at the Coliseum, okay?
Thank you.
Appreciate
I hope to see you too.
All right. Nice to have the V representative.
Absolutely.
I told her, Coach Casey, I said, Brooklyn doesn't know we'll have to shut ourselves down because we're so excited to talk volleyball.
Well, you and I haven't seen as much volleyball as we normally do, so it's very cool. 8-yard pickup that time, Lucas Gunkel on a quick smoke route to the receiver, and actually put him down at about the 45, a 44-yard line here. So now they've got to set the ball down. And the officials, you see this a little later in the game usually, but the officials trying to slow things down, make sure that they're putting the ball in the right spot, essentially because Chatfield runs the offense so quickly that sometimes the officials just need a breather. It's not necessarily that they're out of shape. They just want to make sure they got the placement right.
And that's fair enough. And a challenge to many, including the broadcast crew and the camera crews, to be able to follow an offense like Chatfield.
Odell again out of the backfield. Get himself a first down. Bounce to the outside. Jones will wrap him up over there on the far side at about the 36-yard line.
Great job by Thomas Elsenbast. Be able to seal off that defensive end. And then there's Odell using his size. Just kind of scampering and sneaking right through right shoulder and able to make a nice gain, eventually end up with the first down.
Got 7 yards that time. Play action. Here comes Winkler. Back to pass. Got man over here. Caught. Was it inbounds? You bet it was. That's Gilbert with the catch right there on Andre Thompson, who had him blanketed pretty good.
So Chatfield come up with an answer after the Tafoya to Stevens touchdown pass. Put Mullen up by 7. Chargers on the move again with Odell here.
Quick throw out to the slot man in Odell. And again, I'm going to say it, a host of players there. Isaiah Banks, one of the first guys to get over there. Hayne was there as well. But again, that's that quick. Instead of stepping up with the, what do they have? A 2nd and 1 and going with the quick quarterback sneak. No. We're going to run a smoke route. We're going to see. We're going to go for big yardage, or at least we're going to get a couple of yards out of it. But a flag down here, as you can see. Yeah, don't sleep on the Chargers. We were looking at some other league action that was going on. Well, that's tough. You can't. It's not a chump, but it was a block below the waist. You can't get out and essentially when you're blocking, you've got to take them head up. Can't be taking guys out at the knees, and that's what happened there. So back it up 15 here, and that presents a sizable issue now. 2nd down and 6 for Chatfield as they try to match Mullen, and now Chatfield will take a timeout. Read about the 2014 top 40 seniors, the top positional players, and the players to watch in this year's Colorado Football Magazine. You can get your copy today.
Not a lot of seniors on the Mullen staff. We've mentioned that. I still really believe and strongly urge when we're moving around the sidelines off the record that Fennell's got a plan. He's got some great gifted athletes. Even Coach McGatlin across the way on the far side said they've got the stars. We know that. But Fennell, he's got the plan. It's just not quite there yet. His 3rd season in the Mullen regime. He is a graduate of Mullen High School, if you're not aware. Started his 2012 year, which was actually with, again, just equally young talent. Went 6-5, 3-7 last year. A little disappointing here at 2-3, but he's got a bunch of great stars and he's got a great staff. You mentioned Ced Bonner, who's a personal tutor to Safon Tafoya. And we're talking about Tafoya's got a guy who's an AFL Hall of Famer. I've actually been on the sidelines in arena football games, the championship games, and it's Ced Bonner who's the quarterback out there for the Rattlers.
He's the guy over there. Diving, no. Odell did not get the hands underneath at that time. He had gotten into the open, got away from Cumber over there, but Winkler was really running for his life and spotted him at the last moment, but bounced it to him.
Of course, Mullen, expectations high at a program like this. 14 state championships in the history of the Mullen football program. Fennell trying to get his squad back there. And again, you can see a lot of the parts, including that 28 kid, the sophomore running back McElroy, having a nice game.
Yeah, he looks very good. Here we go. Winkler down the field.
There's another one of them.
Picked off. That is Lavios Brown. Andre Thompson.
23, Andre Thompson.
Thompson had come up and made a play earlier. Read that one perfectly, and that's a straight go-round. You're just trying to either go back shoulder or you're trying to go up over the top. Thompson read it.
2nd turnover of the ball game. Mikey Pryor fumble recovery in the 1st quarter. That eventually led to Marcus McElroy with a 22-yard touchdown run. Mustangs take him a little longer in terms of yardage.
Yeah.
You never know with time.
Well, that's
Looking
true.
to convert another one here after a turnover.
Go from their own 25. Tafoya's going to keep this one, and not a wise decision that time, as coming up to make the hit. That's Dylan Ellis shot the gap.
Ellis having a nice game. We've talked Carstensen a lot from the linebacking position, but Ellis, silky over there. Cory Lopez has called his name out quite often from a defensive end position, depending on what the alignment is. Still that three-man front for the Chatfield offense, or excuse me, their defense.
Yeah.
No, now they've switched up. They've got 4 up front there. One of the linebackers creeping up.
Yep, they have. And another linebacker just on that near side. Quick throw out to McElroy. McElroy spun around as he takes it to about near the 28-yard line. Odell is over there along with Jake Carstensen.
Can't have any of this happen if you're Chatfield. Don't want to see any more of it, and that is Carstensen, who is down.
He was dinged up a little bit last week.
I mentioned he had an ankle thing. Now he's got a wrist thing, and he's going to come off. Remember I said it was 2 weeks ago, and when Coach McGatlin's explaining it to me, they just said they went with JV defense. 9 starters out, and 4 backups injured, and unable to substitute.
Yeah, and you play one of the top teams, certainly in the Jeffco League in Ralston Valley. So that didn't help. That just kind of exacerbated the situation. Here we go, 3rd down and 7. Empty backfield now for Tafoya. A little delayed draw for Tafoya himself as he is pulled back. Boy, Gator got a hold of the jersey and brought him right back to him. Got to about the 33-yard line, though, so he got 5 out of it, but it'll bring up a 4th and short.
Nice read by Gator. It looked like he was maybe slanting the other way, but great instinctual read that this is going to be a quarterback draw. And with his big, strong hands, able to keep a hold of a jersey to force a short gain.
He was running north and south, or at least running south, and was suddenly pointing north when the tackle was over with. Tafoya on 4th down. They've done this twice now. McElroy lowers his shoulder, runs over a man. That was Gator that he ran over. Got to the 41-yard line. Odell has to come up along with Bristol to make the tackle. Gator got caught up in the block, tried to arm tackle him, and McElroy just put the helmet right to the chest plate.
I love it when the young athletes almost know that they've got demo opportunity going on here. We've seen the long runs, the speed, the little jukes. He's got a little wiggle to him. You have any power in your legs? Can you blast through somebody? The answer, emphatically, yes, for a 1st down.
3rd time they've gone forward on 4th down. Tafoya keeping this one. Following Hamilton will fall to about the 49-yard line. There's a late flag that will come in.
Number 51, Tyler Wilson on the tackle. Assisted by number 25,
51 I don't have. Bristol is there. Wilson also in on the tackle.
Mullen, freshman. Please report to the north end zone of the football field. Mullen, freshman.
4 minutes left to go here. We'll see what the flag is all about. Well, it's a benefit to Mullen. And a block in the back on the defense. And Keene called for the block of the back, essentially. So a 1st down and 10 coming for the Mustangs here, as they're trying to tack onto the lead. And now Coach Thinnell would like to talk things over here. That's a Mullen timeout. 6-0 strength. There's only one way to be called part of the Dungeon family. That's to survive the Dungeon Challenge. Want to be one of the select few? Email I can handle the dungeon to matt@60strength.com for more information.
Friday Night Lights, real bright, looking around. Scores from around the state of Colorado, thanks to ScoreStream for giving us that grid. We see Eagle Crest and Valor Christian. That's even up 14-14. People were barking at me last week when I was saying Eagle Crest is for real. You know, no, they're not. You know, well, they play in the Centennial and they're playing Valor tight 14-14 right now.
Well, and you mentioned Overland played Valor very tight last week, and Cherry Creek last night. beat Overland fairly handily.
Yes.
So it's
Third shutout in a row for that Creek defense that we all saw here on Stream It Sports last week.
Boy, they do look tough, and they're getting better.
You know who's tough? Pomona over Bear Creek, 41-14.
Wow. That one was out of hand by about halftime. Here we go, first down and 10. And the handoff to the right side, and that is Hamilton that will take the carry. And driving forward for the scat back, not bad at all. You get him to get some of the running done.
Got a second quarter score that Chatfield and Mullen care about in the Jeffco. Arvada West trailing 28-6 in the second quarter as we look at that score. The Rebels, who had just emerged victorious over this Mullen squad just last week in that shootout.
Here we go. After a gain of 9. And Tafoya this time. They give it off to McElroy. He leans forward. Again. That is Connor Haynes right on the bottom of the pile there. The run just inside the 35-yard line, gain of about 3.5.
Haynes having to go both ways in this game, as Coach McGatling explained to me this week. Two-way guy, having to hustle out here with that kind of pace offensively as a lineman. Here he is on the defense. And the Chargers have to make a stop. This is one of those games you're just trading possessions.
Tafoya's looking to go up top, and he's looking for Manning. Too deep.
Careful, no call. That's good. Saw Manning's left arm all of a sudden lose its momentum coming forward. I wondered if one of the defenders for Chatfield.
Oh, I think they might have, but the referee said no, not enough.
I like it when you got to draw blood. Let them chicken fight for it. Unless something's obvious, let them go.
Lucas Gunkel on the coverage.
Especially
there.
if I'm Gunkel going against 6'5" Manning, I really do have to draw blood for it to be justified. Seriously, the guy's 6'5".
I'm just trying to slow him down a little bit. It's fine. Second down and 10 now. From the Chatfield 35, Hamilton off to the races, falls to the 20-yard line. Just got tripped up barely. Mitchell Johnson got him around the shoelaces, and his momentum still carried him another 5 yards.
We've discovered the compliment for Marcus McElroy. His name's Shimon Hamilton. And is very complimentary. Just the way he runs. It's not so much power anymore, even though he blasted through one tackle, but he's just got that jittery way of moving his legs, which is different than the long strider and McElroy. They're both in the backfield flanking Tafoya right now.
Under 2.5 to go in the first half. Mullen trying to add to their lead here to Tafoya. Now it's McElroy's turn, dancing his way through, down to about the 11-yard line. And again, Mitchell is down around the ankles there. Odell also giving credit for the tackle.
Credit to that line play up front. Guys like Jack Hain, Adam Shack, Brock Langren, Blake Van Jacobs, giving a little bit of a gap to where Marcus McElroy could hop through. You saw that watching it on your monitor, and then from there it's McElroy against the second level.
Got 8 yards, 2nd and 2. Yes, they can get a first down. Got to get it down inside the 10. They're in the red zone again. 3 touchdowns by that man, by McElroy. Nope, Tafoya this time, and a great tackle up to make it as Dylan Ellis stops Tafoya before he can really get going.
Watch list, Dylan Ellis.
Yeah.
For our next level athlete of the game. And we'll have to feel out. We got a long way to go. But Cory Lopez has been calling out 1-8 quite often in this game, just making tackles for that Chatfield D.
Absolutely. Minute 20 to go here.
That one was a touchdown saver, true?
It was. He had a lot of room. And again, the receivers had run the cornerbacks off. The big fullback going to get this one. Leaning forward. Is that Buck Fennell?
That is Buck.
Got to feed the fullback every once in a while, and that quick hitter, and he'll take it down to about the 7-yard line.
Was that a cross buck for a completely archaic play call?
It was not, actually. They've used Hamilton on a couple of, I know what you're doing.
34
they
cross
call them
buck
counter plays
right,
now.
Exactly. Right.
Yes. Back to McElroy. Leans, still driving with the legs, still on his feet. That's a touchdown. How about that? Number 4 for Marcus McElroy Jr.
Well, He's crossed the goal line 4 times, 3 touchdowns. Remember that one
right,
got called
got
back
called
because of
back.
the penalty infraction.
Still had that in my brain. Only a run of 7 yards this
Well, you
time.
fed me with it
Yeah.
because that's what I'm thinking is Marcus, man, like, I had 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the guys in the black and white took one away from me.
The extra point is no good. See if that comes back to haunt Mullen at any point here. There's only 47 seconds left to go here in this first half. A long sustained drive. 12 plays, 75 yards, capped off by the 7-yard run by McElroy. And again, his 3rd touchdown.
Very impressive drive.
High school athletes looking to play in college need a recruitment video, period. Don't settle for your team's game film. You can go to Stream It Sports. We can provide player-focused filming and editing to highlight your skills. All right. Adding to the list, McElroy's right near the top, of course. Our next level student athlete, but we also called out Dylan Ellis, as you mentioned many times. Sean Odell, nice long return, looking to try to do it again here as he takes that one at about the 7-yard line, leans forward to about the 32-yard line. Hope I take that back. Lucas Gunkel with the return this time. Gunkel and Odell with the return duties. You can see, boy, you got to look tight on the screen. This is one of the few football games that I will watch a lot of the TV and not so much on the field because it's hard to pick out the gold numbers on the white uniforms. First down and 10, and Winkler, a little delayed handoff to the I-back. As he spins his way forward. That is Gunkel again on the carry. He takes it up to about the 46-yard line.
Still time, though. 33 seconds left midfield. Winkler can get something done.
And he's already snapped it and gets it here to the near side, and that is Gilbert.
See, that's what I do if I was putting together game film highlight package for Winkler, is that out route. I mean, he's so crisp with it, delivers it perfectly. I just go back to back to back. That's how I open for 20 seconds, then we'll move to some other plays.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a baseball star. Don't know what his plans are. See if I can weasel in on the dinner table at the Winkler family household and get a read on that. But I know he's really good at baseball. I know that from other photogs who have said, he's really good at baseball. I'm like, okay, I don't know which one he's leaning.
There you go. 20 seconds left to go. Well, a quick timeout here for Chatfield just to slow things down, set up what they want. But again, where they sit, though, you've got about 44 seconds or 44 yards to go down. Very doable. You've got Gilbert, you've got Odell, you've got actually a couple of the guys that can kind of get it done here for Chatfield. Chase Robinson, Chase Johnson, both. They tend to like to run Odell deep. They'll set him up in the slot in position and then run him on a double move. But
well, with the reset, considering 22 seconds left, considering field position here, we haven't seen either squad go deep except for once. That was Tafoya trying to go long.
Oh, that's right. Winkler setting up the screen here to the near side. Gunkel's got it. Got some blockers out front now. Bounced his way. Go to the far side. Got a little room. Got a little wall set up over there as well. One more man to catch him. He'll run out at the 13-yard line, conscious of the time on the clock. What a smart play by the senior there to step out.
I was keying on O-lineman Miles Brown, 6'1". I saw you coming all the way down the field, and you could tell it was a lot of work. He's right there on the right side of the offensive line as they set up here. 61 doing an excellent job with downfield blocking, and then the hop step for the ball carrier. Big play. Chatfield is driving here with a chance.
32 yards that time. The ball first down and 10 at the 12 now. Winkler rolling to the near side. Looking, does he have anybody? Pumps, fires, incomplete. Threw it, hit the pylon in the corner. He knew he was looking, I believe, for Odell there to try to get loose, and it didn't happen.
Well, good heady instinct on the part of the two-year starter at the quarterback position. Winkler knowing that if I want another play and a chance to do anything else with the football, I have to get rid of it now. It's got to go away.
Yeah, he was looking for Braden Gilbert,
Right.
actually. Gilbert's another guy. Gilbert and Odell, so they're going to set up for the field goal here. This would be a 29-yarder for Becker Maris. Get some points up on the board here. So Gilbert will hold here at the 19. Snap's good. The kick on the way. Boy, she drilled it but missed it off to the right. Did not get the hook on it that time, and the 29-yard field goal attempt to end the half is no good, and that's where we sit. 27-14. It is Mullen up on Chatfield here. The Chargers have a little bit of work to do and some adjustments, but boy, there's no moral victories. I know,
Right.
But a good drive to get it down there, the opportunity to score, something they can take in at halftime. We'll take a break and we'll come back here in about, it is homecoming, so we'll be back with you here in about 18 minutes. We'll give you some first half stats. We'll also look at some games from around the region as well, update you on that, and then we'll get you set for the second half here as Mullen leads it 27-14 right here on Stream It Sports.